What's up, guys? Cody here with Connor over here, and we're going to see two movies today. We're going to see Oppenheimer and Barbie, and well, what is it? Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer.
So we're gonna roll through the punches and go through this whole experience and give you guys our thoughts, our opinions, and also along the way go get dinner.
Let's go get dinner.
Yeah, let's go get dinner.
I just don't know who I am without you.
You're Ken.
But it's Barbie and Ken. There is no just Ken.
Doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two. No one knows how hard I tried. I have feelings that I can't explain. Driving me insane. All my life been so polite. 'Cause I'm just kidding. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of blonde fragility? I'm just kidding. Where I see love, she sees a friend. What will it take for her to see the man behind the tent and fight for me? I'm just kidding, and I'm enough, and I'm great at doing stuff. So hey, check me out, yeah, I'm just kidding, baby. I'm just kidding.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
What's up, guys? Cody here, and we just got back from seeing Oppenheimer and Barbie. We're going to give you guys our review on both of these films. Join with me right here. We got Connor.
Hey guys.
He's all dolled up. Isn't that funny? Because that's supposed to be a joke, because Barbie.
Enough.
Well, we're going to review Oppenheimer first, because...
Oppenheimer at what, 340?
Yeah, 340.
Yeah. And then after that we did Barbie at what, 8:10?
Something like that, yeah.
8:10. So it was like a good 8-hour excursion with dinner in between.
Yeah, and it was a fun day. So Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan's newest film based on Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. It is definitely one of those movies that has you really kind of overthinking what you watched. What did you think of it before we kind of...
I thought it was a pretty great movie. I don't know if it could have been any shorter than the 3-hour runtime that it was, to be honest with you. There was so much going on, and they covered a whole lot of ground very, very quickly. It felt like 3 different storylines, but all the storylines came back to the last storyline. Like it all met back at basically what was as close to the present day as the story got.
Yeah, it definitely jumped around a lot, and in some ways it was kind of hard to follow, but I feel like they do explain enough in those scenarios where you can try to keep up with it at least. I don't think a lot of people that are going to go in seeing this movie are going to really understand. It really does feel like the average moviegoer that doesn't watch movies for the dialogue. This is a dialogue-driven movie. It was an experience.
Yeah. It left you go in the movie theater like, man, like fuck.
I think before we even started, we were talking about a couple days ago, if we were going to do Barbie or Oppenheimer first, I think that we made the right choice because
we were gonna originally we thought about doing Barbie first.
I feel like it's just like detoxing from something like Oppenheimer and going straight into Barbie is like the perfect choice. It's almost like you're eating a very savory meal and going straight to dessert. Like it, you have that like instant feeling of like relief from a big meal. So having like ice cream or something like that, it definitely has the feeling of like a huge relief after watching it, because what was it in total? It was like what, 5 hours worth of film that we watched.
I mean, yeah, easily.
Yeah,
easily.
Well, Oppenheimer definitely is a much more again dialogue story driven thing, and I think that it is a great movie. It just feels like there were some things about it that I do have to complain about. It is not a perfect movie. I don't really think a lot of people expect Christopher Nolan to actually drive like the perfect movie. The first issue I had is the gratuitous sex that's in this movie.
Right, but man, it lingered pretty long. I'm not gonna lie, and it was a lot. But I think it was like, it was gross for all the right reasons. It wasn't gross just to be gross. It was gross because an affair is gross.
I don't think that it actually had any purpose with, like, it wasn't story driving like that. Like with Titanic. Okay, so if we were to talk about Titanic, because we both love that movie.
Sure.
The whole purpose of the nudity and the sex in that is because, well, it drives the story. You know, it's actually done in a way. Like I'm talking about.
I disagree. I think Oppenheimer in the way it did it, maybe for the first scene, I guess it laid seeds. A lot of it was, like, the two instances we're talking about are more, the point was, I think, more for the feeling of it instead of for the romance.
So were you supposed to be repulsed by it? I wasn't getting that.
Absolutely. Well, because
I felt annoyed by it. I felt like I was like sitting there being like, what's the point of this? Like the question of like, why is this in here? Why is it cut in here in this way? Things, okay, so I know we're jumping around a little bit. One of the things I do appreciate is how big this cast actually is. Everyone, Connor will tell you also, I was like, is that Rami Malek?
Yeah.
Is that Josh Peck?
Yeah. Like, oh man, the cast was incredible. It was never ending, and it was like, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Man, RDJ did a fantastic job.
Without spoiling anything, Robert Downey Jr. has a great way of actually kind of twisting his character, whoever he played. I don't have a lot of backstory behind
who exactly
he is, and
I
really never even studied up on Oppenheimer, but I am very intrigued by it.
Yeah, now I kind of want to read a book about it.
Yeah, it's like these characters have driven you into it delved you into a whole new interest for me. I love history, and this is definitely a very historical moment. It is the birth of the A-bomb, and yes, it's definitely a monotonous, drawn-out movie, and there are some moments where I was yawning, but I can't say it was a terrible movie.
I don't know. I didn't have any moments like that.
Really?
No. I really did not. Like,
I did have a pee break though.
I had to pee really bad.
It was a 3-hour movie. That's what we're trying to drive across.
Sure. But I peed really quickly because it was like in the middle of a tense moment. I wanted to get back to it.
Yeah.
No, I think okay. Here, look. I'll give you my pros and cons. I think it was really, really great at pacing. I think the imaginative way that the sound was designed for the movie.
That is another thing.
Was incredible. I think that the story that was told was fantastic.
It was done very well.
I think that the moments he chose to linger on were important for who we were supposed to know Oppenheimer for, not for this martyr, right? But for this flawed genius, and not because he's the smartest man in the world or in the known world.
As a matter of fact, he had conversations with smarter people than him in this stuff.
And that was kind of the point, was like, he's able to corral all these people, and he was able to like make hard decisions.
Why did we flip out when Einstein showed up? That ain't a spoiler. It's in the trailer.
Because it was just cool.
It's Albert Einstein, man. He's like the father of physics.
Yeah,
you know?
and I love that too. Like they, oh god, I can't spoil it, but they had like a moment in the movie, and for the whole movie
There's
don't get to know what the moment was.
There's
you
dialogue.
You see the moment.
Yeah.
You see the moment, but you don't get to see it. And then right at the very end, it's the end of the movie, and it is perfect.
Yeah, I feel like the ending was great because again, this movie is, you said it best. This movie is described as like a political thriller.
It is. It is absolutely a political thriller.
I think that not a lot of people that go in to watch something like this are really going to enjoy something like that because they're expecting boom explosions. You want something like that? Go watch Michael Bay's Transformers.
Well, or I mean, even it's not even like straight up like I don't know, like your traditional like biopic.
No.
Right? It was more over like, you know, the oppression of, right, like the scientific community. I think the oppression of women. I think the oppression of you know, just the idea of socialism and communism in America. There was like a lot of like bigger issues that were a part of Oppenheimer's story, and those seemed to take more of a spotlight than Oppenheimer himself. He was kind of like the vessel for us to be able to see into some of those issues.
Yeah, and I actually, you just brought up something very interesting because I was in my head comparing this to another movie that actually is politically driven, but also, yeah, like JFK, Oliver Stone's JFK movie. That is a 3-hour long movie, and the whole movie is about the politics of something that big and that serious in our history. It is dialogue driven, and it does exactly what this movie did. It goes back and does scenarios of like different people, different experiences, and you follow hundreds of characters. Well, I can say hundreds, but it felt like it. There were a lot of people in this movie, and I think it was done very well. You never got bored with like any of the people on screen. I don't think.
No, not for a moment. And even with some of the people that had very little screen time, like you know, Rami Malek, right?
And his character did serve a purpose at the end. I was like, he didn't have no dialogue.
I know.
The whole movie.
He was like, he told me that, and I went, Cody, let's just watch the damn movie. And then sure enough, like 30 minutes later, he's on screen for like 5 minutes, and you're like, whoa, holy crap! Like that was awesome. And like I just felt like
that was
every
point,
character. Yeah, every character that we got to have like great moments with all of these different characters and kind of, you know, what they were going through, and I feel like we got a decent sense for why
I think we did get a great representation and, you know, something that we as a society should probably learn about through a biopic like this. I think it was done really well. Now, to kind of cut off right here, and you know, with, you know, I think we need to move on to Barbie.
Sure.
Our review portion of Oppenheimer is about as 3 hours long too.
It made us think a lot.
It definitely was a lot to offload. But Barbie, on the other hand, I don't know what I was expecting coming into this. So, Greta Gerwig. Wow.
God. Thank you. Personally, thank you.
She doesn't watch this channel, but I would hope she would, like, at some point somebody would be like, hey, these two guys like your movie.
Hashtag Greta Gerwig should make every movie from now on.
So this movie has actually been going through the ringer on a divisive end, and it's
that's over.
We're not going to get
the
into
culture war.
Yeah, we're not going to go into the whole political side of this, but I would say that me and Connor, I don't think we really knew what to expect from this, because
I went in with zero expectations. You know what I mean? I went in with zero expectations for Oppenheimer. I've really been trying to like stay away from
we came out of both of those movies saying Barbie was better than Oppenheimer.
I'm not even
a bad thing.
I'm not even kidding you. 5 out of 5.
Okay, so we're
10 out of 5.
We're getting into the review portion already of that.
I would straight up watch Barbie again right now.
It definitely has an appeal.
I will be watching Barbie multiple times.
This is also a very cast-driven movie. I mean, we had Ryan. I want to say Reynolds, but it's
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Reynolds probably should have been in this.
He could have been, but no. I think there was for a movie to be led by, you know, two white, blonde people, like, you know, in the movie, right?
It's a very diverse movie.
It was a very diverse movie, and which was pretty awesome. Like, it was really neat. And
it's very meta too. Like
so meta. It was hilariously meta.
And I think I love movies like that because there's fourth wall breaking and then there's like 20 wall breaking. Like this is like there's no wall here.
It doesn't exist. They were like, yeah, Mattel's making the movie. Also, here is the person who started it all.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa!
Yeah.
And then she like drops some knowledge and you're like, man, I don't even know what to do with myself anymore.
This movie is meant to be for a specific audience. And I will say that audience, we walked out, there were some of them were crying. I mean, it definitely means a lot to people.
I think, especially like for women, obviously, like
this is their movie.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. Like I think if everyone gave it a chance, it could be their movie too.
You
like,
shut your mind off from the whole politically driven hatred of something like this existing. It does have a charm to it. It is meant to be satirical and fun. And that is why I like it.
It was a complete satire on like the patriarchy. Like it was beautiful.
Which is a word that was used constantly in this movie by Ryan Gosling.
It was really funny because he basically, and it was basically just a character movie, which was great. It was a character movie for Barbie and for Ken, and they basically going in opposite directions, where it was like she was so positive all the time that it was like detrimental to her mental sanity.
Yeah, because she was considered a what did they call her? The stereotypical Barbie.
Well, but I think more than that, she was like, she realized that she was like perfect. Everything that's what she kept.
She was the
out.
ideal like female, which is something that comes on later. Is like, you know, this little girl claimed that idealistic viewpoint actually ruined things for women. That was something that was brought up, and I kind of understand that. I guess it just like is an unrealistic expectation of women, just like Ken is an unrealistic expectation for men. I don't have a six-pack like that. I wish I did, but I don't. You don't even have that.
No.
But he's still pretty handsome.
I think, I think the character development for Barbie was incredible. There's a specific moment where she first starts to realize that she's like can feel when she's in the real world. That is, I mean, was just such a great moment for the movie, and really helped us get into the rest of it. And like, she started to become a person over time. You know, it wasn't just, life isn't just full of rainbows and sunshine. And like, that is really the point of this movie, is that like being one-dimensional or single-minded in how any of your thought processes are. If it was for Ken, Barbie, right, other Barbie, other Ken, it's detrimental to yourself, your identity, and to the people around you. And like, that's the real point of this movie. Like, to find yourself and to be more than the one dimension that you want other people to see.
Yeah, and I agree that, you know, this, first off, this movie, if this movie's going to win an Oscar, it's going to be for set design.
I think it should. I think Margot Robbie should win an Oscar. I think Ken should win an Oscar. Ryan Gosling. No one else could.
First off, he did an amazing job. He was so funny in this movie. It was almost like he stole the spotlight a little bit. But that was kind of the point.
Yeah, that was because that's literally how the movie goes.
Yeah.
He ends up trying to steal the spotlight.
Again,
he's trying so hard.
It's meta in a way that I would never have expected from a Barbie movie. If you took this title away, I've never seen so many layers to a Barbie movie before. Like, I would never have expected it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, you know, I may have hated on the trailer when it came out, which you can go back and I was just like, what the hell is this? But I'm also like, it's not for me. That's kind of the point. It isn't for a lot of us, and that's okay, because it does mean something to somebody else. I got to see it firsthand today. You know, my heart was full seeing some people reacting the way they were. It is the same way that I feel about some of the things that I love. You know, if I were to watch a movie or TV show and I got inspiration from that or got a little bit of a heartstring pulled, it does mean a lot to me, so I can see it through other people. It's an experience. And because I love film so much, I love when art forms like movies actually do open up a new form of emotion for other people through film. So seeing that and seeing how much this movie means to people, you know, I really loved it. It wasn't just the movie itself, it was the experience that made me love this movie, you know? So it is a fun romp, and it had a lot of great catchy musical moments in it. Some were overdone, but fun.
Random, so random, but they were exactly what they needed to be.
For a Barbie movie, yes.